Summer 1943, Camp Crossville, Tennessee. The brown liquid fizzing inside the glass bottle mesmerized the German soldier. He had never seen anything like it. 2 years fighting across North Africa, surviving on hard biscuits and bitter ersatz coffee, had not prepared him for this. The sweet, carbonated drink called Coca-Cola represented impossibility made real. It cost 5 cents from the camp canteen. The guards informed him that American children purchased the same beverage with their allowance money. In that single moment, a crack formed in the ideological armor of a man who had marched under the swastika. Across America that summer, 371,683 German prisoners of war would confront a reality that contradicted everything. Nazi propaganda had taught them about American weakness. They discovered a nation where ice cream was a routine dessert, where soft drinks were everyday beverages, where candy bars were so common that guards gave them away. These simple foods, treats that most German children had never tasted, would systematically demolish Nazi ideology more effectively than any propaganda program. The mathematics of abundance were being written in sugar and carbonation, in chocolate and ice cream, revealing an American industrial capacity that rendered German deprivation not noble sacrifice, but needless suffering. This is the story of the most unusual psychological operation in military history. A secret weapon hidden not in bombs or bullets, but in bottles and ice cream freezers. The complete transformation of enemy soldiers through the simple, undeniable power of plenty. The surrender in Tunisia. The Afrika Korps' end came in May 1943. After years of desert warfare, Erwin Rommel's legendary army collapsed in Tunisia. Approximately 250,000 German and Italian soldiers marched into Allied captivity. These veteran desert fighters, who had pushed the British back to the gates of Egypt, expected harsh treatment as prisoners. Nazi propaganda had prepared them for American brutality, for starvation, for revenge. What they encountered within hours of surrender shattered those expectations. American K rations arrived. These field rations, which American soldiers routinely complained about, contained treasures: crackers, processed cheese, candy, fruit bars, instant coffee, sugar tablets, and cigarettes. German soldiers who had survived on minimal rations for months treated these emergency meals as feasts. Declassified military records from the processing camps in North Africa revealed that the U.S. Army served pancakes with syrup, fresh eggs, and milk to their new prisoners. These were foods that had vanished from German military rations years earlier. A German officer later testified to the International Red Cross, "We expected to be starved as prisoners. Instead, the Americans fed us better than our own army had." This confusion about American resources began our education. The systematic feeding of enemies with superior food began immediately, though its full psychological impact would only be understood much later. The Atlantic crossing. Liberty ships transported these prisoners across the Atlantic during the summer of 1943. These vessels, mass-produced at unprecedented rates, one completed every 42 hours at peak production, carried up to 30,000 prisoners monthly to the United States. Naval records confirm that prisoner rations aboard these ships matched or exceeded standard crew provisions, approximately 3,500 calories daily. Fresh bread, meat, vegetables, and coffee with real sugar and milk. The ship's refrigeration systems, standard equipment on American vessels, maintained fresh food throughout the 2-week crossing. Then came the moment that defied all logic. Ice cream was served on multiple occasions during the Atlantic passage. The USS General M.B. Stewart's log from July 1943 records serving ice cream to prisoners. On July 4th, using the ship's ice cream maker that produced 10 gallons per batch. For men who had not seen ice cream since before the war, this frozen dessert in the middle of the ocean represented something beyond comprehension. The sheer technological arrogance of producing ice cream at sea for enemy Prisoners conveyed a message no. Pamphlet could deliver. Arrival in the land of plenty. When the ships docked at ports like Norfolk and Newport News, German POWs encountered an America that Nazi propaganda had declared impossible. The Norfolk Naval Base, covering 4,300 acres with extensive waterfront facilities, handled more cargo daily than major German ports managed weekly. At the port exchanges, shops for dock workers, prisoners glimpsed shelves stocked with candy bars from names that would soon become legendary in their minds. Hershey, Mars, Nestle. Military procurement records from 1943 show these exchanges stocked dozens of candy varieties, selling them at standard prices. 5 cents for most candy bars, the same price charged across America. The journey inland by train provided further education. Unlike the cattle cars used for transport in Europe, German POWs traveled in passenger coaches. The dining cars served full meals. Documented menus from July 1943 show fried chicken, vegetables, pie, and coffee. Prisoners discovered this was not special treatment, but standard American rail service. The infrastructure of everyday life itself was a weapon. The prison camp system. The camps constructed across America housed prisoners in conditions that exceeded Geneva Convention requirements. Camp Crossville, Tennessee, typical of the larger facilities, included electric lights, hot water, flush toilets, and heated barracks. But the camp exchanges, the PX stores, delivered the deepest psychological impact. According to Army Quartermaster records, camp exchanges stocked multiple soft drink brands: Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, RC Cola, various candy bars and confections, ice cream where refrigeration permitted, cigarettes, tobacco, fresh fruit, snacks, and even beer with 3.2% alcohol content. Prisoners earned 80 cents daily for labor, later raised to $1. With candy bars at 5 cents and Coca-Cola at the same price, a single day's wage could purchase 16 items. This abundance staggered men from a nation where such products, if available at all, required special connections or black market dealings. The economics of everyday life in America delivered a silent lecture on industrial democracy. Coca-Cola, the fizz of democracy. One beverage became the ultimate symbol of American industrial might. The Coca-Cola Company's wartime production reached remarkable levels. Company archives confirm 5 billion bottles, produced in 1943 alone. The military contract guaranteed 5-cent Coca-Cola to American servicemen worldwide, a commitment requiring unprecedented logistics. German prisoners discovered that this soft drink, unknown to most before capture, was ubiquitous in America. Every camp received regular deliveries. Work details observed vending machines and coolers everywhere. Gas stations, factories, schools. Americans of all ages and classes drank it casually, discarding half-empty bottles without thought. The standardization astounded technically minded prisoners. Coca-Cola tasted identical, whether consumed in Maine or Texas, a feat of quality control exceeding anything German industry achieved. The syrup concentrate manufactured in Atlanta and distributed nationwide to bottling plants represented industrial coordination that challenged Nazi assumptions about American chaos. Historical records from the Coca-Cola Company archives confirm that many prison camps received weekly deliveries of 200 to 300 cases, each containing 24 bottles. Camp Hearne, Texas alone consumed approximately 7,000 bottles weekly during summer. 1943, every sip was a data point against the Reich. Ice cream and the sugar shock. Ice cream in American prison camps seemed like a hallucination. Yet Army records confirm that ice cream was regularly served in camps with adequate refrigeration during summer months. The military considered ice cream essential for morale, so important that specialized ice cream ships were built for the Pacific Fleet. At Camp Shelby, Mississippi, the July 4, 1943, Celebration included ice cream made on site. Prisoners watched as hand-cranked freezers produced gallons using ice, salt, cream, sugar, and flavorings. The casual use of scarce resources, ice in July, cream, sugar, purely for entertainment, demonstrated priorities Germans could not fathom. By 1944, many camps had electric ice cream makers. The variety available, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, butter pecan, exceeded what German ice cream parlors offered before the war. Prisoners could purchase ice cream bars for 10 cents, ice cream sandwiches for the same price. Army procurement records show larger camps ordered 50 to 100 gallons of ice cream weekly during summer months. Sugar consumption delivered an equally powerful shock. In Germany, civilians received 280 grams monthly when available. In American camps, sugar sat in bowls on mess hall tables for unlimited use. Quartermaster records from 1943 to 1945 show camps receiving 100-pound bags of refined sugar weekly. One documented incident from Camp Aliceville, Alabama, in August 1943 reveals the contrast starkly. Humid weather hardened several hundred pounds of sugar. Rather than steam and recover it, as Germans would have, kitchen staff discarded it and ordered replacement supplies. The German prisoners working in the kitchen were reportedly distressed by this waste. The casual destruction of what their families would have treasured spoke louder than any broadcast. Holidays and human kindness. Thanksgiving 1943 introduced German prisoners to American holiday abundance on a scale that defied belief. Army records confirm that all prison camps served the traditional dinner: roast turkey with stuffing, mashed potatoes and gravy, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce, vegetables, pumpkin pie, coffee, and milk. The logistics required to provide turkey dinners to 425,000 prisoners, plus millions of American servicemen worldwide, showcased organizational capacity that rendered the German war machine supply lines primitive. The fact that German prisoners received the same meal as American soldiers emphasized an equality of treatment that contradicted Nazi racial hierarchy. Then came Christmas. American civilians, church groups, civic organizations sent packages to German POWs. The American Friends Service Committee, alone, distributed 50,000 Christmas packages to enemy prisoners. These packages contained homemade cookies, candy, toiletries, games, books, cigarettes. In Tonkawa, Oklahoma, townspeople delivered homemade treats to prisoners at Camp Tonkawa. In Hearne, Texas, church groups brought Christmas cookies and candy. Americans who had family members fighting against Germany nevertheless showed charity to German prisoners, demonstrating a strength through mercy that Nazi philosophy could never comprehend. Witnessing the American machine, as labor shortages intensified, German POWs worked increasingly outside the camps. By 1944, approximately 100,000 prisoners worked in agriculture and food processing, gaining intimate knowledge of American abundance. In Michigan orchards, they picked cherries destined for maraschino production, those bright garnishes topping ice cream sundaes. The volume staggered them. Single orchards producing tons of fruit for decorative purposes. At canneries, prisoners observed quality control that rejected perfectly edible food for minor imperfections. Del Monte records from 1944 show approximately 15% of fruit was rejected for canning due to size, irregularities, or minor blemishes, typically diverted to animal feed. In Germany, such fruit would have been desperately consumed. Sugar beet processing in Colorado and Nebraska revealed agricultural mechanization beyond German achievement. Single farms produced more sugar beets than entire German regions. Prisoners learned that American sugar production from both cane and beets reached approximately 7 million tons annually, explaining the casual abundance they witnessed. Some prisoners working near schools saw early organized school lunch programs, children receiving hot lunches including milk, protein, and vegetables. The milk program particularly impressed German observers. Many schools provided fresh milk to children daily. The logistics of daily delivery to thousands of schools demonstrated organizational capacity that Germany could not achieve even for military supplies. Some school cafeterias offered ice cream for additional purchase. The concept of children buying frozen desserts at school while German children faced food shortages created a profound impact. The numbers that shattered ideology. When prisoners gained access to American publications, they discovered production statistics that constituted a psychological atomic bomb. In 1944, America produced approximately 7 million tons of sugar, 380 million pounds of chocolate and cocoa, products for the military alone, 5 billion bottles of Coca-Cola in 1943, over 500 million gallons of ice cream, 119 billion pounds of milk. In Germany, during the same period, sugar was heavily rationed primarily from beets. Chocolate was a military priority only. Soft drinks saw minimal production. Ice cream was virtually non-existent. Milk was severely rationed. These numbers, published openly in American media, demonstrated that America's wartime production exceeded Germany's peacetime peaks. The most devastating statistic was personal. American rationing provided 2 pounds of sugar monthly per person, more than triple the German allowance when available. American meat rationing at 28 ounces weekly per person exceeded what Germans received monthly. Even rationed, Americans maintained consumption levels Germans considered impossible luxury. The Office of Price Administration records show Americans purchased 74 pounds of sugar per capita in 1944, despite rationing 10 times German consumption. By late 1944, a stunning reversal occurred. German POWs began sending food packages to Germany rather than receiving them. Using camp wages, prisoners purchased American products to mail home. Chocolate bars, instant coffee, canned goods. International Red Cross records confirm that German prisoners in America sent approximately 11 million parcels to Germany during their captivity, most containing food items. The impact on German families receiving American abundance from imprisoned relatives while they faced starvation in freedom profoundly undermined Nazi ideology. The prisoner had become the provider, the final proof, and the return. Spring 1945 delivered the ultimate validation. As American forces advanced through Germany, German POWs in America watched newsreels of GIs, distributing chocolate and gum to German children. These children's joy at receiving American candy, their own government, could not provide completed the ideological demolition. The contrast was absolute. American soldiers advancing through enemy territory carried enough candy to give away, while the German state that promised triumph delivered starvation. Films of concentration. Camp liberations showed American troops sharing rations with skeletal survivors, demonstrating humanity toward victims of the regime German soldiers had served. Between 1945 and 1946, German POWs returned to a destroyed homeland. Medical examinations showed they generally returned healthier than when captured. Many had gained significant weight in American captivity, while their families had lost weight to starvation in German freedom. This physical evidence of American plenty versus German deprivation was undeniable. Many prisoners brought final Red Cross packages home. Chocolate, coffee, and canned goods became family treasures. Children who had forgotten chocolate's taste received Hershey bars from fathers who had eaten ice cream regularly in prison camps. These men became unexpected advocates for the Marshall Plan. They had witnessed American abundance that was not zero-sum, prosperity through production rather than conquest. Their testimony that Americans could afford to rebuild enemies influenced German acceptance of American aid. They understood that American power came from productive capacity, not extraction. They had seen a society wealthy enough to waste food while fighting a global war. The sweet victory. Former POWs became the secret architects of the German economic miracle. The men who had witnessed American production methods, distribution systems, and consumer abundance applied these lessons to German reconstruction. They had learned that mass production could make luxuries affordable. That standardization enabled quality and efficiency. That consumer abundance created political stability. That industrial democracy could outproduce authoritarian control. Coca-Cola returned to West Germany in 1949, becoming a symbol of the American alliance. Ice cream parlors modeled on American soda fountains appeared in German cities. Candy bars and chewing gum became symbols of recovery. Former prisoners of war often became importers of American food products, understanding their appeal from personal experience. They knew these products represented more than taste. They symbolized abundance, democracy, and modernity. Historian Arnold Kramer, the leading scholar of German POWs in America, concluded that food abundance was central to ideological transformation. His research confirmed that casual, American plenty accomplished what formal re-education programs could not: the complete demolition of Nazi superiority myths. The statistical summary remains irrefutable. Average prisoner consumption, 1943 to 1946, 3,300 to 3,600 calories daily. 4 pounds of sugar monthly available, 32 ounces of meat weekly, 1 quart of milk daily available, ice cream served regularly during summer, soft drinks unlimited at 5 cents each, German civilian rations same period, 1,200 to 1,500 calories daily, 280 grams of sugar monthly when available, 10.5 ounces of meat weekly, often unavailable, milk severely rationed, ice cream non-existent, soft drinks none available. Enemy prisoners ate better than German civilians, proving American abundance extended even to defeated foes. The legacy of this strange campaign endures. The German POWs who could not believe ice cream and Coca-Cola existed in American prison camps witnessed democracy's ultimate weapon, the ability to create such abundance that it could be casually shared with enemies. They arrived believing in German superiority and American weakness. They left understanding that American strength came from productive capacity, so vast it could waste resources without concern. The ice cream sundae, with its layers of excess, ice cream, syrup, whipped cream, nuts, cherry, became a metaphor for American abundance. Each component alone exceeded German dreams. Combined, they represented impossible luxury made routine, that enemies could order seconds while German children faced hunger, revealed the totality of Nazi failure. In post-war interviews, former prisoners consistently identified food abundance as the turning point. A former Afrika Korps officer stated in 1975, "We expected to defeat a weak, divided America. Instead, we found a nation that could give ice cream to enemies. That's when we knew we had lost more than a war. We had lost our entire worldview." Another veteran recalled, "My first Coca-Cola was like drinking the future. It was sweet, fizzing, completely unnecessary, and available to anyone for a nickel. That drink contained everything Nazi Germany wasn't: abundant, democratic, joyful." These sensory memories carried more power than any argument. They had tasted democracy, and it was sweet. In the end, the bottles of Coca-Cola and dishes of ice cream served in American prison camps achieved what armies could only attempt: the complete transformation of enemy hearts and minds. The men who experienced American abundance as prisoners became freedom's most unlikely ambassadors, carrying home the truth that democracy tasted like chocolate and freedom fizzed like carbonation. Their story forces us to confront an unsettling question. In the long arc of history, which proves more transformative? The power to destroy, or the power to give ice cream to enemies on a hot summer day?